Today I'm going to share with you about South Korean business culture. What are the top 5 tips? How can you become successful doing business in Korea? Let's find out. So by the way, if you're new here, make sure to hit that subscribe button. Lots of great videos coming up. Don't miss out. So what are the top 5 tips to thrive in Korean business culture? Let me quickly share with you. These are tips that I've learned working in Korea with my own businesses over the last 16 years. And especially with my training business, we've trained over 150 organizations, 49 of the Fortune Global 500 companies here. And also I've been coaching many of the expats who come to Korea and got them adjusted to South Korean business culture. So what are the top 5 tips? Let's dive in. Number 1, hierarchy comes first. Now, Korea is a very hierarchy-based society. And the business is even more so. So in business culture, you have to respect the hierarchy. You have to understand the hierarchy and you have to respect it. If you're an expat, what does that mean? If you come here as an expat and you manage your own team, what do they expect? They expect that you're a top-down leader, okay? They expect that you make the decisions for them and you give them a clear direction on what to do. Now, many expats who come here, they're more of the empowering leader. They want their team to take care of everything. But from Korean perspective, that is not the good leader, at least not at the beginning. Okay, at the beginning especially, it's very important that you make the decisions for them so they understand what you want, what you like, and they try to figure that out anyway. Okay, and you got to give a clear direction. The same thing if you're an outside company and you do business with a Korean company, you have to understand and you have to respect the hierarchy. Hierarchy is very important in Korea. Number 2, focus on relationship building. This is another mistake that a lot of expats make who come to Korea. They're not focusing enough on building a good relationship with their team members, okay? They might be very good at planning, they might have a great vision for the team and for the company, but they're not the very best at relationship making. And in many Western cultures, that is not so bad. Come on, let's be fair, it's not so bad, right? We can be working together, we don't have to be the best friends. But in Korea, actually, you don't need to be best friends, but you have to have a good relationship. If not, people don't trust you. And if they don't trust you, don't like you, don't respect you, things usually don't work so well in Korea. Also, if you're a company coming from outside of Korea, doing business with Korean companies, you really want to work on relationship building. They usually pick their partners more based on relationships than based on quality. Sometimes almost shocking to see. But it's so true, right? Relationships matter so much. Number 3, you gotta develop a group mindset. South Korea is a collectivistic culture, meaning group culture, right? Many Western cultures are individualistic cultures. It's a very I, me culture type, where we respect people who have different opinions, correct? Who are different in general, especially in business as well, right? In Korea, that's not the case. In Korea, we tend to not go so much against group decisions, against what is acceptable with the group. So Koreans' mindset is always the relationships around them, the hierarchy, of course, but especially the bigger group, what will they think about a decision that's being made? Okay, so group behavior is so important. Let me share with you a fun story here. Tragic if you want to, but kind of fun. One of the clients that I've been working with, expat who came to Korea, and he had a very strange habit. So he would go to meetings, and because he was so busy he couldn't eat enough, so late in the afternoon he would in the meeting then have a bag of chips, potato chips, that he would be eating during the meeting. He said, sorry, I haven't eaten anything, right? And he would be eating his chips. Another day he would do the same thing and he would order some fried chicken. So he was sitting in the meeting, right? He was eating the fried chicken and the meeting went on. The Koreans in the room didn't like it, even though he said sorry. Not because of the eating was rude, okay? Koreans understand when you're hungry, you have to eat. We value food in Korea. No, the problem was he never offered any of the food to the rest of the group. Now, from a Korean perspective, chips is food to share. Fried chicken is food that you share with others. Now, probably nobody would have eaten anything, but he was instantly written off as the selfish foreigner because he always brought stuff, but he never shared anything. So don't fall into this trap. Yeah? Keep in mind when working with Koreans, the group matters. Number 4, master the art of indirect communication. Yeah, Korea is an indirect culture. If you come from a direct culture, for example, myself from Germany, we're a very direct culture, yeah, you might run into some trouble. So for example, in Germany, we very directly say no. If something doesn't make sense, if it's clearly a no, we just directly say no. Very direct, yeah? And from a Korean perspective, that is seen as very rude and sometimes emotionally very painful. It feels almost like a personal attack. Like somebody shares their ideas, their plans with you, yeah, from your team, for example, and you say very directly, no. They can be hurt. I've made this mistake for many years, my earliest years in Korea, and I didn't realize, yeah, the damage that I was doing while I was doing it. The beauty is now you can learn from my mistakes. Yeah. So in Korea, how do Koreans say no? A softened no, an indirect no. Well, instead of saying no, they say sometimes, that's an interesting idea. Yeah, let's think about it some more. Yeah, so it's pushed until later. When you discuss things in business in general, you gotta read the reaction. The body language is usually, and the tone of voice is usually much more important in Korea than exactly the words that are being used. Yeah, so you have to master indirect communication when you work with Koreans. And number 5, discover their real thoughts over coffee. Many times, because of the indirect culture, people will not tell you directly what they think in a meeting. Okay, again, because of group culture as well, and they want to save face, they don't want to say anything against you in front of all the others. So how can you figure out what people really think? Well, if you get a feeling in the meeting that something is wrong and you can see on somebody's face that they have a different opinion or they want to say something but they just don't, just tell them, why don't we grab a coffee after the meeting? And then one-on-one, usually they will tell you what they really think. Okay? And the coffee culture is a little bit more relaxed, yeah? Sometimes it can, instead of coffee, it could be lunch or dinner. Okay, but coffee is usually the fastest and easiest way to do it. It's really a secret, very advanced technique, I would call it, to figure out what your team members or your customers in Korea really think that they don't dare to say in the meeting. Yeah, so make sure to use it. Ask them to have a coffee. So by the way, these are just very few of the tips that you have to learn if you're working in Korea or you're working with Korean companies. Yeah, there are 1,000 other tips that I could be sharing with you, but this is just a very quick video. Yeah, if you're interested in doing some coaching with me, there's a link below that you can click and that you can share out, because I help a lot of expats, yeah, a lot of people from abroad working with Korean companies. Yeah, so do that. And by the way, if you haven't done it yet, hit that subscribe button. We got more great videos coming up. If you like this one, give it a thumbs up. And most importantly, I really look forward to seeing you for the next video.